Good evening. Venezuela finds itself at a critical juncture following a United States attack that led to the capture of former President Nicolás Maduro. While the opposition initially harbored hopes for change, it has become clear that President Trump is supporting the established regime primarily for its vast oil resources. Today, we delve into the complex power dynamics gripping Venezuela, focusing on the newly inaugurated President Delcy Rodríguez and the fate of opposition leader María Corina Machado. Just this past Sunday, Delcy Rodríguez, a 55-year-old lawyer and a longtime confidant of Maduro, was sworn into office. Within days of the United States military intervention and Maduro's arrest, she has for now become Venezuela's most powerful woman. Observers describe Rodríguez as embodying Bolivarian socialism with pragmatic undertones. Her first public appearance as interim president was a clear signal. Flanked by her brother, Parliament President Jorge Rodríguez, and key military figures, she demonstrated the unified front of the group that previously shared power with Maduro. The military remains the decisive factor in Venezuelan politics, and for now, it stands behind her. But the question is, for how long? Venezuela boasts 2,500 generals and admirals, each with distinct business interests. Economist Manuel Sutherland explains that Rodríguez is not particularly popular among the security forces. He states, the military has its own demands. She will be under immense pressure and will have to negotiate hard to avoid giving the impression that she is saving herself and abandoning the others. Rodríguez faces a delicate balancing act. On one hand, she must keep the hardliners of Chavismo in check, most notably Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello. On the other, she needs to appease Washington. She attempts both, expressing a willingness to cooperate with the United States on oil trade, while simultaneously accusing the United States of using drug trafficking and human rights as pretexts for the attack, asserting the real reason is Venezuelan oil. Indeed, President Trump makes no secret of his intentions. For him, it is not about democracy, but about resources. Days after the attack, he announced that the United States would receive up to 50 million barrels of crude oil from Venezuela, valued at $2.8 billion. The United States president's threat was explicit. If Delcy Rodríguez does not cooperate, she will pay a higher price than Maduro. Meanwhile, on the other side of Venezuela's political spectrum is the momentarily sidelined hope of the opposition, María Corina Machado. 57 years old and an engineer, Machado's charisma had, in a short time before the 2024 elections, rallied a significant majority of Venezuelans and unified the fragmented opposition. A conservative, market liberal figure from the right wing, she espouses Margaret Thatcher as her role model. Her radical independence embodied the hope for political change. However, the government prohibited her candidacy in 2024. Instead, Edmundo González Urrutia ran. The opposition released electoral protocols that showed his clear victory with 67%. Yet, the regime declared Maduro the winner without presenting evidence. When protests were brutally suppressed, Machado, facing arrest and death threats, was forced into hiding. After 11 months underground, she recently reappeared for the first time in Oslo to receive her Nobel Peace Prize. For many, it was a controversial decision by the Nobel Committee, given her public support for United States military interventions. She even dedicated the award to the United States President, expressing her desire to share it with him, as she recently stated in a Fox interview. I would like to personally tell him that the Venezuelan people want to share this prize with him. What he has done is historic, a great step towards democratic transition. Yet all her efforts seem in vain. At precisely the moment when a change of power appears tangible, she is being ignored by Trump. He dismissively told journalists she is a nice woman, but she lacks support and respect in her own country. It's a significant blow. Nevertheless, she remains undeterred. Trump announced that next week Machado would travel to the United States to meet him. The core problem, as Venezuelan economist Sutherland explains, is that Machado commands no respect within the armed forces or within Chavismo, which is normal. It is evident that the military and political leadership despise her. However, without the military, no power can be exercised in Venezuela, and certainly no change of power can be enforced. The armed forces have been deeply interwoven with politics and the economy for decades. They control key industries, the oil sector, and food distribution. Maduro systematically kept the generals content with privileges, positions, and lucrative deals. Rodriguez is playing this very game, knowing she cannot survive without the military leadership. Machado, conversely, has no access to the barracks. Her supporters are on the streets, not within the military. Two women, two worlds. Delcy Rodríguez maneuvers between power blocks with the military's backing, at least for now. María Corina Machado fights from exile for relevance without holding the decisive lever of power. This is the complex reality facing Venezuela today. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. This video was generated using artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time.